here is Tech, and today we got overview of Asus ProArt Z690 creator motherboard, but it isn't really a creator motherboard. And in this video I'm telling you and showing you why, and also showing you what is missing on this motherboard. Actually missing a lot of this stuff, not only one or two. So we are starting from the front stuff, what we got on this board. So first an 8 pin plus 4 pin CPU power connector. That the 8 pin is armored, and the other one, the 4 pin, is not armored, as you see here. And 4 pin PWM 12 watt fan connector. This is AIO pump, so you are not gonna connect any fan to this PWM connector. And in total you got 8 time 4 pin PWM 12 watt. These two are CPU fan, and they are also all are 12 watt. You can change the speed of the rest of this PWM fan connector from BIOS, but this AIO pump run always at 100% of speed. You got a 12 watt ARGB connector, and this is 4 pin. You got only one of them, and you got 3 time 3 pin 5 watt. And here you got a 4 pin main connector plus extra 6 pin that I guess is for the, because of this USB 3 front connector, USB type C front connector. You got this extra power connector, main power connector. The thing is this, that on the top you got a 4 pin, and here you got a 6 pin extra, so it gonna fucked up on your cable management, this stuff. So this is the cons of this extra stuff, and less power connector on the top for the CPU. 8 plus 4, almost on all of the 690 motherboard you got 8 plus 8 CPU power connector, but here you got 4 plus 8. One of them is armored, one of them is not. It doesn't look really cool. And here you got a front panel USB type C connector. This is USB 3.2 Gen 2 by 2 type C plus 60 watt fast charging capability, and 4 plus, yeah, and this should be 20 gig. And here you got front USB-C Engaged connector, and this is 5 gig I guess, and 6 times SATA 3. And here front panel connector, yeah, and PWM 4 pin connector, 2 times extra SATA here, so in total 8 times SATA, 2 times USB 2, 2 times 3 pin 5 watt ARGB connector. And here I forgot, this is thermal heater control and check the temperature of some hardware. TPM connector here on the top, and here you got 2x 14 PW again, and this is something else. I don't know which connector header, which header or connector is this, and this is a front panel audio connector, and LJ1700 socket, and this is the i9 12900K. This is not the motherboard that you use a K version Intel CPU on, and on the 2x PW 4-pin connector, fan connector also here, and here you got PCIe Express 16 by 16 speed Gen 5. The down one is PCIe Express 16 by 8 speed Gen 4, I guess. Yeah, Gen 4. And this is PCIe Express 16 by 4 speed, yeah. And this is Gen 3. And all of the M.2 that you got 4 in total are PCIe X4 Gen 4. All are Gen 4, and the top one support almost any size of M.2. The down one only 3 different sizes of M.2, and here also this one, like the top one, support any size of M.2 SSD, yeah. And what else we got here? About the RAMs, it supports DDR5 RAM, and it support up to 128 gig as usual, and 4800 megahertz up to 6400 megahertz speed in OC for single channel. Important, this is dual channel. For single RAM, you plug the RAM. If you got only one RAM, you plug it to A2. For 2x RAM, A2 and B2, and for fully dual channel, all of them, doesn't matter which one. A2 and B2 is channel 1, and B1 and B2 is channel 2, and yeah, nothing special. The problem, one of the problem is here. You have to screw it. When you screw it to the motherboard, your screwdriver should be a great magnet screwdriver, because it may happen for you also. It did happen to me a lot when I was screwing this motherboard on my cases. The screw falling in, and here, as you see here, you got some space that screw fall in, and you maybe totally take off the motherboard to get the screw out of here, and this is not really good. And other thing problem is this arrow, this cover. It takes a little bit of space. For example, when I would plug my GPU, this is GTX 770. When I would plug it here, this arrow, this arrow exactly touched here, and you know, it is in a wrong place. It is not necessary. It just make the looks great, but it sometimes for some people make trouble. And this heatsink, the chipset heatsink, is really awesome, really great. This heatsink, this arrow is also really great, and this heatsink also is normal. Yeah, not really awesome, but it's standard normal. And this audio cover is really cheap quality. I don't know, can you see it? It's really cheap. It moves really bad. You can easily shake it. It's not really fit in his place, and you know, it's a really cheap plastic. And oil shield, rear oil shield is on board. And what else? Back pallet is missing. And on the box you got a DVD. This is fucking $500 motherboard, and it's creator motherboard, but inside that is DVD. I saw on $300 motherboard you got USB, but here you don't have it, and you don't have high quality stuff. They are really cheap quality, not all but mostly. For example, the heatsink. This is the heatsink of M.2's ready thermal on, and this is not really great for M.2's because it is gonna get really hot, and they cannot give a great cooling feature. It doesn't. And with this heatsink that got fan also, the normal temperature of my M.2 was 45, something like that, and the top one was around 65, like that. With this heatsink, they are massive and awesome. So just think about, if you use this heatsink, how much the temperature of your M.2 gonna be. So this is not, it's bullshit for such a motherboard. If you watch my Z690 Asus Ultra video, you see the right heatsink, how it looks, a great heatsink. So the other problem is the Q latch. It's really pointless feature that I can call it feature because it is not a feature on Asus motherboard. They have to remove it because if you buy a M.2 SSD with heatsink, like 1 second. Like these M.2s, this is the XPG M.2, and I broke my M.2 because I couldn't fit it here. So, and yeah, it costed $170 to me because of this useless Q latch option on this motherboard. So it is a little bit pointless. And the other thing, it moves, it looks like it's gonna fall almost. It's not really fit in his place. When I plug the M.2, for example, I can lock it. Yeah, and it takes too much of time till I fit it there, and after that it comes out by itself. So this is not great. And here rear IO, what is missing here is something really important. 2-time DP in. So this is creator ProArt motherboard. I thought they use a greater feature like MSI Unify that I uploaded the video last month, I guess. You had mini DP on the downside, not top here. This is not a great place for having connecting DP in, because the Thunderbolt is here and the cable from downside coming here, and a lot of cable would be here. So these two should be at this arrow and should be mini DP, but it's fine. It's not a big problem. The thing is this, that you got only one time HDMI and no HDMI out and no DP out. So I got a 12900. Because of this reason I'm saying this is not the motherboard that you put your K version new Intel CPU on this motherboard. This is the reason, because you got only one time HDMI, and it means you can connect one monitor here, and you have only one screen. I'm using always 2 display, and minimum 2 display is really necessary for most of people, and most of people got 2 monitor or 3, the gamers. But HDMI and display port should be here both, but you only got one HDMI 2.1 4K 60 Hz, I guess, and 2 Thunderbolt connector. They are Gen 4, and 6-time USB Type A, 10G LAN, and 2.5 gig LAN, and this is really great. But you got on really cheaper $400 motherboard or $350 motherboard, like Asus Master also. Oh, you got this feature 10 gig LAN and Wi-Fi 6E audio connectivity and BIOS flashback, and you got here I guess some another volt also. I don't know for what is that, but this is the BIOS flashback button. I don't know if you see that or not. So on the back is not a lot going on. It's a simple backside and no back plate. This is a really expensive motherboard, but missing a lot. And here, this is not 2 holes. Most of almost all of YouTubers saying, yeah, here you got 2 holes. One of them is for LJ 1200, one of them is for LJ 1700 CPU cooler, but this is one hole. It's a little bit bigger for both of those cooler, but the LJ 1700 cooler is recommended for getting most out of your cooling. Yeah, and yeah, is not a lot going on this motherboard. And what else is missing? Debug LED, resets, button and power button on board. These things are really missing on this board. This is a creator board, so you mostly doing with your hardware a lot. You're doing with your hardware a lot. So I'm also everyday plugging a GPU, plugging RAM stuff, other hardware, and testing them. So power button and reset should be on this board, but you're missing them. And inside the box also you got one time display cable for only one of them, so it should be two time, but they just send it one time of that. And another thing that I have to show you, this is the antenna. This is the same antenna that you got on other Asus motherboard almost also. I mean all on all new other Asus motherboard you got the same Wi-Fi antenna. This is for my B660 Asus motherboard mini ITX. This is the same motherboard, you see everything is the same. This is for a 530 bucks motherboard that you see here, this ProArt Z690. So this is not really ProArt and this is not a really creator motherboard. The only one feature that I like it really is this, that you can have 8 times SATA, 8 times hard drive. You have 8 times SATA, so you can plug 8 times hard drive, 2.5, 3.5 SSD, HDD, and have 4 times M.2 SSD on this board, and you can run all of them together. So this is really great for a creator. 8 times SATA is needed. They could add 10 times 2 times angle it here at this side, 2 times, and 2 times angle it also here, so 4 times here and 6 times here, but they did it like this, just wasting space. And yeah, I would like to have separate heatsink for each of the M.2s here, but they are fully this heatsink is fully covered for this two M.2 at this era. And yeah, I really hate this extra power connector here and 4-pin here. This one is gonna fucked up on my cable management, adding extra cable. The cable is the same cable of your GPU cable is VGA cable. You can connect VGA cable here, and this is also normal CPU cable, but 1x4 and 1x8. So it is not really cool. Just would be great 2x8 CPU connector, but you don't have it. And the top M.2 is from on CPU and top PCIe Express, and the down one is on chipset. And what else gotta say? Yeah, overall it looks really simple. Yeah, so this is a creator motherboard. It shouldn't be really fancy, this stuff. And I would have a 2-time USB 3 front connector on this board. 2-time header should be here, but you got only 1-time. Is good, but this is angled and this is angled USB 3 is really great. If you did like this video and the video was helpful, like and subs, and I totally don't recommend you to buy a Asus motherboard right now, because the B660 that I got is also missing some stuff, quality issue. This motherboard also having quality issue and future issue, and totally out there is a lot of motherboards that having a lot of great stuff, which you really missing on this motherboard. For example, the ASRock Velocity Z690 is an awesome motherboard, and is the first motherboard that support M.2 Gen 5. However, you can't buy an M.2 that is Gen 5. Out there is no any M.2 like that, but the motherboard have this feature, and debugability, bus reset, reset button and power button, and some RGB also you got on that motherboard, and HDMI and display port out you got on that motherboard, and the only thing missing Thunderbolt, and yeah, the rest is really great, and I would recommend you to get the ASRock Velocity Z690 instead any other motherboard for your i9 12900K or Aorus Ultra or Aorus Master Z690. Those motherboards are also really awesome. You're paying really less, 150 to 100 bucks less than 150 bucks less than this motherboard, and you're getting more future than this motherboard. So see you till next time.